Howdy ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to another episode of Survey Time. So this one might be interesting. How many fake friends do you have? I'm kind of curious to find out how this one turns out. But before we get to that, here's a short message. Hey all, just a quick mention here. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on the videos you like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, which helps me. Takes 2 seconds. So thanks in advance. Alrighty, how many fake friends do you have? Everybody has some fake friends, but how many of your friends are actually your enemies? How many fake friends do I have? Fake friends, everybody has at least one. So it's no wonder many people want to find out how many they actually have. Have you ever asked yourself if one of your friends actually likes you? Sometimes friends don't seem to listen or only want to hang out when it benefits them. If this sounds familiar, you may have a fake friend in your hand, or a few. But it's not always easy to tell. All right, so let's see what they have to say. I have a number in my head, but let's see. I prioritize my friends' needs over my own. No more. Totally disagree. I used to. I was completely guilty of doing this, but I learned. My friends tend to talk about themselves more than they listen to me. Totally agree. I've noticed that my friends only seem to reach out to me when they want to go out and have fun. Yeah, I somewhat agree with that, actually. Sometimes I wonder if my friends actually know how I feel. Completely agree. I actually, not to be self-indulgent here, but when I got diagnosed and I had to stop cooking and working in restaurants because my back just couldn't support me anymore, and I went into depression. This is back in the 90s. And I went into depression, and one of the things I did was I moved to Ontario because I honestly didn't feel any of my friends who were that was my support group. They weren't listening. They weren't listening at all. So yeah, I actually do know this one. You know, I moved across the country for 20 years because it just occurred to me that I had no support here. My friends only seem to be interested in hanging out when I'm happy. No, they only seem to be interested in hanging out when they're interested. So no, I don't honestly think my happiness plays a role in it. My friends laugh at every, oh God, I wish, but no. I occasionally overshare personal, yeah, I'll agree with that one. My friends and I often complete each other's sentences. No, I'm very different than my friends. You know, I'm not one of those people that needs to be surrounded by people that are like me. Actually, I kind of find that boring because I'm already the original. You know, I want other people around me that aren't the same as me, so I'll disagree with that. My friends are like family. Used to be, not anymore. I don't do that. My family is my family. My friends are my friends. So I'll disagree with that. But back in the 90s, yeah, I was guilty of that one too. I get defensive when somebody disagrees with me. No, I get defensive when somebody disagrees with me because they're talking out their ass and don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. You can disagree with me till you're blue in the face and I have all the time for you as long as you know what you're talking about. It drives me nuts. Like Canada's going through a hard time politically right now. And I have some very far left-wing friends, and I literally can't talk to them on politics because they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. They really don't. You know, and like politically, I'm a moderate, a centralist. I go a little bit to the right on some issues. I go a little bit to the left on other issues, but I stay in that central area. These guys are like all left radical socialists, and they view anybody to the right of them as, well, their favorite insult of late is Trump lover. You know, and I've never even liked Trump. Before he entered politics, I didn't like Trump. So, you know, I don't talk politics with them. And yeah, you can disagree with me. You just got to know what you're talking about. That's all I ask, is you have to know what you're talking about. So I will totally disagree with this. I find myself constantly trying to, no more. That was me in the 90s. I was guilty of that in the 90s. Not anymore. I react harsh. No. Again, if there's a validity to the criticism, my ears are open. See, like, for me, maybe I'm oversharing here, but I detest liars and fake people. I absolutely detest them. I don't want to be around them. So as long as you're being honest and you know what you're talking about, knowing what you're talking about is part of being honest. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut the hell up. Don't comment. Just nobody wants to hear it. It's not just me. Nobody wants to hear it. But, you can go, hey, Andy, I think you're wrong on this, and this is why. And if it's valid, my ears are open, and I have no problem taking criticism. And you can change my mind. I know a lot of people, you can't change their minds. You can change my minds, but you have to know what you're talking about. So, yeah, I completely disagree about that. I find it difficult to trust. Yes, I do agree with that. I've been burned too many times. I don't feel comfortable sharing my problems with my friends. No, I have no problem. Hell, I have no problem sharing it on YouTube. So I'll disagree with that. People often cancel appointments with me at the last moment. No, if I make an appointment, they usually keep the appointment. One friend in particular did this, but that was on him. I was running a tabletop Fallout game, and he basically begged to join the group, and then he joined the group, and he didn't like the way the adventure was going, so he just stopped showing up. He didn't show us, any of us, not just me, but any of the players, any respect in telling us beforehand. He just never showed up for like 4 sessions in a row, and we just wrote him out. So no. Mostly no. People don't cancel at the last second on me. I often feel left out or forgotten in group situation. No. I often feel like I'm the one putting in all the effort to this. I do agree with. I have a hard time saying no to my friends' requests. In the 90s, absolutely. Nowadays, nope. My friends and I don't have much to talk about unless we're gossip. No, disagree with that. I'm very popular and I have a very small group of friends. All right, so let's see, how many fake friends do I have? 34.3% of your friends are fake. Your friendship is good, but not perfect. Sometimes there can be misunderstandings or frictions between you and your friends, but it's important to talk about any issue as they arise and try to come to an understanding. Actually, I can agree with that result. That's pretty much how I feel. So, yeah, not really a fun test, but kind of interesting that it echoed what my internal number was. So, and at the age I'm at, we don't talk it out anymore. They just sort of disappear. They just stop talking. Whatever, that's on them. Like I said, in the 90s, it bothered me. Nowadays, I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm more mature. That's on them. I have no control over it. So anyway, that's my video for this week. If you liked the video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm still trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave a comment. Take the quiz, and I'll put the link in the description, and take the quiz and see what comes up with yours, and we can discuss results. And also, by leaving a comment, you really, really, really do help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. So as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.